and welcome to another episode of JC Live. And we got a really fun one today because we are going to be talking about what's in the world right now. It's springtime, everything is blooming, and so fashion is like right there. We've just seen all of the fashion shows from spring, summer 24 and fall, winter 24. And that is, really inspiring people. People are talking about trends and that kind of stuff. So I thought, who better to have on the show than our queen of Instagram here at John Casablancas, a model herself. She has done everything you can think of. She's has amazing photos that you can see on Instagram, and she does all kinds of runway shows. She does bridal shows, and then she also heads up a lot of our social media stuff and the stuff that you guys see if you go to John Casablancas, or if you're just a person who watches us. Then a lot of the stuff you see is from Zoie, because she is also a coach here at John Casablancas, and that's the Texas team that she's with there. And we all know those people, Merrill and Brian. And so, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Zoie Zeller. Hi, Zoie. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Dwayne. I'm honored to be here. Thank you for having me today.
Of course, I'm so glad that you were able to get some time off to do this for 30 minutes. I know it's hard out there when you're busy, right?
I always say better busy than bored. I'd rather be running around like a chicken with a head cut off than sitting here twiddling my thumbs.
Absolutely. I feel the same way. I don't really ever stop working. People are like, "Well, when do you sleep?" I'm like, I don't know.
Dwayne, you just work so much, you fall asleep, you forget you fall asleep, and you wake up and keep going.
Exactly. So, yeah, I thought what we would do is just look at a few clips of the runway shows and talk about them a little bit and talk about the models and the way that they're walking, because I know people who are taking our sessions in our runway classes, some of them don't look at these things regularly, and I want them to get hooked on it. Basically, I want them to start being like, I need to see the runway shows, because if you're going to be a runway model, you've got to know what the runway is. So, yeah, what we're going to do is take a little look at these clips that I've put together based on Harper's Bazaar, their
Ooh.
and UK, which is really cool. All of the shows from the UK for spring summer. So
Ooh.
I just put together like a little 3-minute version of it so that we can kind of see some of the things. And I had to start it off with my favorite, Louis Vuitton, which is doing like this whole bee hive thing, and almost like getting like what I would think of as Versace in the 90s, you know?
It's really strong structured. It was almost accentuating and adding to the hip, where we're
Yeah,
coming from a time where in the 90s you didn't want the hips, but now we're getting into the late 2020s where you do want the hip. That's really
yeah.
cool.
So you got the tailored and the hip, so it's like bringing something new to an older kind of thing. And I think it's really cool. I love watching this new stuff happen with these houses that have been around forever. And, they keep having these new designers and stuff. But check out the walk. Of course, this is Naomi Campbell for Terry Mugler. And if you
The
talk
queen.
about runway, she is runway. I mean, she's the
You
one
want
that,
to know how to walk? Watch Naomi. That's all you got to say.
and her birthday is around now because she's a Gemini. So happy birthday, Naomi Campbell, if you're
Happy
watching.
birthday. We
If
love
you're
you.
watching, please get a hold of me. I would love to interview you. Yeah, but that's our for Alexander McQueen. That was amazing. I'm sorry, I
She
thought that.
still does that exaggerated foot crossover. That's how she gets her hip movement, which is amazing.
Yeah, and they used to call it the horse stomp or something like
Yep.
that.
It was a horse kick because it was really like that boom, 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 boom. Whereas now it's more that nice one foot in front of the other. So she's has an old fashioned walk, but she pulls it off.
Yeah, I mean it's so cool, and to it really pulls your attention. And then here we have some younger models that I thought these people really remind me of JC alumni. You know what I mean? Just like people that it's just very casual and cool and beautiful, and that I mean that goes right back to the '80s. That thing right there.
Yes.
Wait, let me just show you that because that thing
Ooh.
is like safari kind of outfit that you would see a lot in the '80s. Oh, and then that's Kendall Jenner. And she looks unbelievable, like almost 50s or something, right?
She has the Cindy Crawford hairdo, which is so funny. Dwayne, Cindy Crawford always had that big hair, and
Yes.
her daughter Kaya, who we just saw, actually did her hair like this for the Met Gala this year. So Kaya, who we see next in the white, was kind of channeling that old-fashioned hairstyle for moms.
Yeah, and I see her on that show, Palm Royale, and she's great. And it's in the 60s, so she's wearing that big hair with the curls and everything too. So it's really fun. Let's check out. Yes, I love that red dress with the Kendall. But as you can see, these walks. Look at how simple that walk is. There's Kaya, as you were saying. That's Cindy Crawford's daughter.
And Cindy Crawford is kind of like Naomi Campbell, who has that big, bold hip movement, yet her
Yeah.
daughter is that 2020 model, that
Yeah.
classic, clean.
And this is a big trend this season, apparently, is everything white and ruffly and textured
Hmm.
and see-through. They're saying gossamer is a huge kind of like thing. There's that tailored stuff. And see, now here's a walk that we don't see those kinds of casual walks like that. Let's see. Right? It's
Ralph
very,
Lauren kind of sticks to that, though. If we go
yeah,
back and watch Ralph Lauren over the years, they've booked models, either the same models or models with a very consistent walk, which is really
yeah.
cool.
It's nice. It really works well, of course, with that. Michael Kors, of course, is kind of the same thing, but more kind of stiff, a little bit stiffer. And um, Tory Burch seems to be a little bit more relaxed. It's like they're taking their time, but
A
they're
little bit more movement there.
moves. That's beautiful.
Back to that see-through,
Yeah,
going to the whites, back to see-through,
yeah, and
going.
that looks very 90s actually. Those we used to have dresses, not like that. They would have flowers and stuff, but the girls would have flowers and then those like army boots.
And Proenza's really cool. So this is their runway collection, and then they also have their white label collection.
Oh
And
wow.
I used to do showroom for their white label collection, and it's very simple jeans and t-shirts. So it's
Oh
so
wow.
crazy. That's what you see on the runway. And then what they're actually selling is their jeans and t-shirts. Because Dwayne, I mean, even a necklace I wore for them once was
Yeah.
probably like $15,000. So no, they don't sell their runway collection really.
Yeah, it's like one person on the planet can buy that stuff.
Exactly.
And then they only wear it for a picture and then they auction it off and give it to charity. And so it's
Yep.
like, but we all get inspired by it. And that's really the key behind it, isn't it? Like,
The runway brings the press, brings the public, brings the attention, and
yeah.
then they sell elsewhere.
And these,
I like.
as you watch these models, the simplicity is really where it's at. And I think that's what people need to focus on when they want to get in this business. They need to focus on the simplicity and not so much trying to be like, look at me, look at me. It's more of a, don't look at me. Like, I don't even want this, you know?
You're a mannequin, you're a hanger. I mean, it sounds terrible, but models are not always hired because of that look at me. They're hired because how they can show the clothes, how to sell the clothes. That's a model's job, is to sell the clothing.
Right, and look at you. You're so bubbly, your personality, but then look at the photo like this. It's about the clothing. It's about that thing. It's not look at me, Zoe. It's look at this amazing outfit.
And
You
Dwayne,
know?
it's so funny because that was for a jewelry designer, and I just worked with her. That's who I was working with today. She just
Really?
left
Oh
my
my God.
apartment like 15 minutes ago.
Oh, isn't
And
that
so that same
hysterical?
jewelry designer is who I was working with today. And it should be about the jewelry. You have to have the whole scene, but the
Right.
goal is to look at that and be selling the jewelry for her.
Right. Exactly. So that's a great simple lesson that you would think was kind of, I don't know, like something you just kind of know. But then I've learned over 20 years in this business that you cannot assume that anybody knows anything. And you also can't assume that anybody doesn't know nothing, anything either, because I've been telling people in my classes, this is the best business because you can fake it. You can literally look as professional as someone like you in a matter of a week. If you listen to what we tell you and how to, change, do your background, lighting, sound, present yourself, you'll look just as professional as someone in the business for 20 years. So it's great.
If you're prepared, if you're professional, if you perfect your craft, there is no there is no difference between you and I, Dwayne, versus someone who's new and up and coming and who's working really hard.
Right. So I know we don't have a lot of time, so I want to pull up our fall shows now and take a look
Ooh.
at those. I just love fall. And as you can see, it seems as though that white kind of thing has followed through.
Yeah, it really did. And I'm seeing more flowy fabrics,
Hmm.
different silhouettes, which is fun.
Yeah, and see, there's that see-through-y kind of flowy, and then very structured. It seems to be the flip-flop is the flouncy and then structured.
That's what Balmain does. Balmain really plays with silhouettes a lot, which is
Yeah.
cool.
And then there's Jill Sander, which I just think the colors are beautiful in this show.
This is
Um,
nice. And it's looks like a loop. It's an interesting runway shape. I like it.
yeah, and it looks like a fun show to do. Like it doesn't look like it's stressed or I mean, we know it probably is, but these guys really did a good job of making it look so well planned. Gabriella Hurst, I hadn't heard of this person before, and the pieces look amazing.
I haven't heard of them either, but it looks like a very well done professional show. The models look good, the audience is full, the filming was done well.
Yeah, it's really kind of amazing. When you hear about new designers, it's so exciting because you don't know those could be the people that we hear everything about in the next 5 years or so. You know.
It takes one shoot, one show, one campaign to put your name on the map, which is really cool.
Yeah, and it's right and it's the same for you. Like if you as a model go into one of these designers who's unknown, like I'm sure you worked for some unknown designers in the last fashion week, right?
All the time. The designer I worked for in this last fashion week, it was her second fashion show ever. I mean, less than 10,000 followers on Instagram, working out of her apartment, yet she's doing fantastic. So,
And if she goes on to make a great name for herself and she remembers you as one of her best models, I mean, so many things can happen. It's a great thing, and that's why networking is so important and not burning bridges in this business.
it's extremely beneficial to work with those up and coming because if they make it to the top, they're going to bring those with them that were there to support them.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is cool.
Yeah, that I thought was really interesting and made like some of these pieces like you maybe wouldn't want to wear it, but something that you have, you could make it look
Yeah,
like that, you know?
exactly.
There's the white again, and it's more like
Yes.
fancy textured kind of stuff. I'm noticing a lot of texture. And these walks, like this walk is much more casual. Um,
Yes. But it's
this
still
one too.
strong. It's that,
Very strong.
yeah, it's that casual strong, which is hard to do.
Yeah,
Casual, okay, strong, okay, but casual strong is it's the new thing now, and it's hard to do that.
it really is. It's really cool to see that like because it's hard to see a trend while it's happening. It's usually after, and then you look at the models and you're like, oh, that whole season, this was really strong and that kind of thing, you know?
Well,
So
and videos like this Harper's Bazaar video is perfect to just kind of get a. Because I mean, Dwayne, you know, we can go down that rabbit hole and watch runway videos for
hey,
hours and hours and
yeah.
hours. So those compilation videos are awesome to just get kind of an overall taste.
I love it. I think people should go check that out and go follow Harper's Bazaar 'cause they do a great job. Vogue, everybody really does, wonderful jobs of curating all this information for us. Well, so now with the last few minutes that we have, I just want to talk about some up and coming models that I'm excited about that we're really showing this from these shows that they are ready to like really take over. So the first one I think we have is let's see. Oh, yeah, I just love him. Blue is his name, right?
Lucky Blue Smith. He's been modeling for, I want to say, probably about 10 years,
Yeah.
and he really picked up in I would say, 2018, 2019, 2020. And I mean, as you can see here, he's doing magazines, he's doing runway shows, and he kind of brings that classic boy next door from California, but that New York high fashion edge into one. I think that's why he booked so much because he can look generic and he can look high fashion. He's a good chameleon.
Yeah, I mean, this is on par for a lot of people that I see in our classes, in
Yeah,
our sessions, that if you can just find a niche like that and then expand on it, you're going to be great, you know? And if you walk past him on the street, you just think, okay, it's a cute young guy, whatever. It's not like, oh, he's on a magazine cover, you know? So it's
exactly.
interesting.
And
Uh,
Dwayne, I can spot models like at a second. And I tell you, if I see a model on the subway, on the street, 90% of the time they're in yoga pants, sweatpants, just a
Mhm.
baggy t-shirt. Nobody would know unless you are in the industry yourself and can kind of pinpoint the body frame and the height and everything. So it's kind of cool. They get to live their normal lives a little bit.
It is. It's really interesting. You can always see, especially in New York, you see that all the time. In LA, of course. Now, this model I thought was very interesting. She is breaking a lot of molds and things like that, and she was all over apparently this fashion week. So I don't know if you'd heard of her.
So fan and Bing Bing, I've never heard of her. This is the first time I'm hearing her name, but that doesn't mean it's going to be the last.
No, and I think she might be. I don't even think she's solely a model. I think she might be in the acting side of things and maybe even theater, something like that. So, yeah, she's just someone for us to all keep our eyes out for. Something I had to bring up was Claudia Schiffer coming back on the runway, which, oh, wait, that's not Claudia. Hold on. See, I'm kind of blind even with my glasses on. Oh, there she is. Yeah, she looks like 1995 all over again. She does not look like a day older.
No, and I mean, she has to be in her late
50,
40s. Yeah, it
probably
really,
40s, 50s. Yeah.
she looks great. And
Amazing.
how, you know, runway careers are very short. So
Yeah.
how cool is it to see somebody coming back to the runway?
All those girls too. Her, Christy Turlington. It's just kind of really amazing to see. Yeah, and then this model, she's kind of new on the scene, and I don't know if she's even done. Does it say she did some shows already?
Okay, so this is Lulu Tenney. So she did, it said walked 53. I don't know if that means she
Wow.
walked for 53 shows or not. I don't know if that's the number. If that's the number, absolutely insane, blown
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, she's gonna be. I think she's gonna be on the list of people that are like we're gonna see a lot of. Speaking of the list of people, if you are someone interested in modeling, one thing you should be definitely doing is looking up the professional models in this business. So here's a little something I just Googled easily, and I wanted to see who are the top runway models of 2024, and here they are. So it's not that hard to get this information, and then you can kind of follow these people. Gigi Hadid, I know, is actually lives, and her sister Bella lives in my old town that I go and I do shows at and things like that. And so everybody runs into them, and also Bradley Cooper. So I'm like, can you imagine if I just run into Bradley Cooper one day? I don't know what I'll do.
I mean, I
Uh,
can't believe you moved away from a town that you could run into.
well, it's
Wow.
okay because Cleveland now is on the up and rise. Justin Bieber was here 2 weeks ago in a bar, and the Marcelo Hernandez from Saturday Night Live went to school here, and so it's actually on the up, on the rise, and I think
I
that's
would
because I came here. No,
Cleveland and Kansas City, they really are. It's cool to see the industry not so concentrated in New York and LA. There's lots of opportunities in other cities, which is
I
great.
think the pandemic provided us the ability to explore these Midwest towns and towns that we've always thought were like just kind of steel towns but it was a lot of space and a lot of less money than being in these big cities. So people came and they started to build it up, and now it's amazing. So it's unreal. Well, I am so glad that we were able to do this, and we have to do this more. In fact, I think we should have another show, a spin-off or something. We should talk about that.
I think so. Yes, we can, Dwayne. You and I can do runway for hours. And good thing we had a time limit today. Actually, we probably would have talked for like 2-3 hours.
I know. And if we ever can get together and film something, wouldn't it be fun to just take some fabric and get some girls and just make dresses on them? Wouldn't that be so cool?
Ooh, okay. So
Walk runway.
JC coaches turn into JC designers. I like that.
Yeah, and we don't even have to worry about the designs, just big flowy stuff that makes them walk different ways. You know what I mean? And then it would just happen to be fabulous and amazing.
So Dwayne, my best friend got married, and during her bridal shower, we did a toilet paper fashion show.
Oh, I love
So
them.
kind of like the toilet paper fashion show, except for we won't use toilet. We can use tulle, and you're so right. It does have to look perfect, but it gets moving.
Exactly. And then people really like get into it. So that's great. All right. Well, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you guys for watching. Go follow Zoe and jcasblancas.com, or the black and white logo I always tell people to go to for our social media. And we'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.